Hello everyone, we're going to keep solving equations. This time we're going to have a look at what we would call two-step equations. Now these ones, sometimes you can still see the answer by just looking at them, but many times you need to undo the equation, is how I like to think of it. So we have a look here. What we do is we think about, well, what did we start with? Here's the unknown thing. We started with a p. And what happened next? It got multiplied by 8. And then we added the 2. Now let's have a think about that and write it down here on the side. What happened first? I'm going to put a little arrow. I'm going to say we started with the p, and then I times it by 8, and then I added 2. So how do I undo that? Now remember, you would have been told before, and I've said before, you need to do the opposite operations. Now the other thing you need to remember is the last thing that you did is the first thing you need to undo. So what did we do first? We first of all times by 8, then we added 2. So what do we have to undo first? Go back this way. We have to undo the 2, adding the 2. So let's take away 2, and then undo the timesing 8, divide by 8. So this bit here is what we're going to do to solve the equation. So let's take away 2 from both sides here. So plus 2 minus 2 goes. I'm left with 8p is equal to 18 minus 2 is 16. So I've done that. I've taken the 2 away from both sides. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 8. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. Now 8 over 8 is 1, so I end up with 1p or just p. And 16 over 8 is 2. And that is my answer. Got the answer there. There. P equals 2. And we can check if it's right by going back up here. 8 times 2 plus 2. 8 times 2 gives me 16 plus 2 gives me 18, which is the answer. So we know that it worked. We got the right thing. Okay, let's go here and have a look at the next question. Now again, let's have a look. What do we, the unknown is f. That's what we're starting with. What happened to f? First of all, it got times by 6, and then we took away 2. So we need to think about that so that we know what order to do things and how to undo it. So I'll put it over here in green. So first of all, we times f by 6, and then we took away 2. Now let's actually solve it. Let's do it in blue. How are we going to solve it? We need to do the last thing that happened. It's the first thing we need to do the opposite of. So the last thing to happen was the minus 2. So let's add 2, and then we have the next thing to worry about is times by 6. So we need to divide by 6. Okay, so let's add the 2 to both sides first. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Minus 2 plus 2 goes. That's the whole reason we have it. 64 plus 2 is 66. So we've done that. We've added 2 to both sides. Now the last thing to do is divide by 6. Divide both sides by 6. 6 over 6 goes, so it's just 1f or f. And then what is 66 divided by 6? If you know your 11 times table, you know that the answer is 11. And that's the final answer. And again, we can check it. We can go 6 up here. 6 times 11 is 66. Take away 2 gives me 64. We know that we've got the right answer. Okay, last one. Let's again have a look. I'll do it in green. Well, here's the pronumeral that we start with. There's the m. What's happening to it? It is being, that symbol there means, something like that. That symbol there means divide by 4. So we're dividing by 4 first. And then what happens? We add 3. So over here, think about what's happening to it. We are dividing by 4 first, and then we're adding 3. That's what we're doing. So how do we undo that? Oops, there we go. That's what we did first. How do we undo it? Let's do that in blue. We want to undo that. So the last thing we did was plus 3. So the first thing we need to do to undo it is minus 3. And then we've got divide by 4. The opposite of dividing by 4 is times by 4. So let's go over here. Let's take away 3 from one side and then the other. So 3 minus 3 goes, and I'm left with just this, the m over 4. And then on the other side, I've got 8 take away 3, which is 5. So I've done that. I've taken away 3 both sides. Now I need to times by 4. So I need to times this side by 4, and I need to times this side by 4. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. Now what I've got here is a 4 on the top and a 4 on the bottom. They cancel each other out to 1 over 1. So it's just 1 over 1m, or just m. And 5 fours are 20, which I'm just about to write. I think, but let's fix that up. 5 fours are 20. And so that's the answer. M is equal to 20. And again, we can check. 20 over 4 will give me 5, plus 3 does give me 8. It works. That's how we do two-step equations.